Alright, just want to show you a little project that I just got through with. I don't know exactly what these are called. I think it's aquaponic buckets, but I'm not sure. I saw a couple of videos on YouTube, and I was looking for a way to grow my tomatoes kind of maintenance free, and I'm going to be growing these in a regular potting soil mixture, not perlite or vermiculite or anything like that. We'll be using potting soil, but just a quick rundown of what my setup, which is very similar to other users. I know I used MHP Gardener videos and several videos showing this same setup. But anyway, so all I did was I went to Lowe's. I got me some buckets. On the bottom buckets, they were blue like this, just for to reduce sunlight and algae bloom in there. I painted them black, and then I had a can of white, and I went ahead and sprayed them white just to kind of keep the temperature of the water down. You can see right there where that water is leaking from. I drilled holes right at the bottom of where the top bucket sits inside of this bottom bucket. The only thing that's done to the bottom bucket is there is one hole drilled, and it's about 2 3/4 up on this particular bucket. You'll have to set two buckets together, hold it up to the light, see where that line is, and drill you a 1/4 inch hole, and that lets the water weep out of this bottom bucket when it gets to that level. When it fills up to this level, it will leach out like you just saw it, and maintain a proper level in the bucket. They say that this is supposed to last about 2 to 3 days in between fillings, so that would be wonderful for me, because I would love to have some tomatoes and maybe some bell peppers and such as that. But the part that I'm really not that good at is watering and the legwork that comes with gardening. So anyway, what I've done is let me show you real quick. Get back to this. We'll take this bucket right here. What I've done, you can see the lid that unfortunately I had to buy separately, but the lid I took and I cut a 3-inch hole in the top and 1 1/4 inch hole here, and then I split the lid all the way up to just took my razor knife and a square and squared that line and scored it, and I left this right here so it would maintain one piece, so I wouldn't have to go hunting 2 pieces. But anyway, that'll work. I think it'll work getting that pipe around in there, so I know it won't be any problem with the plant. Other thing I've got is this is inch and I believe 1 1/4 inch, which is what they had. I know that some videos said 1 inch or is plenty, but I got this right here because this is what they had. It's thin wall, and I cut this on a 45 using my miter saw. You can use any saw. So when it sits down in the bottom of this bucket, the bottom will still be exposed, and it won't be basically like that, not letting any water in. Okay, so the other thing is this bucket. This is the important bucket. This bucket, you can see that I have drilled a bunch of 1/4 inch holes, kind of made like a starburst or sunburst pattern. Just kind of, I drilled a bunch of holes. This little cup, now you can buy I think they're called, what are they called, net pots, but these right here are microwavable macaroni dishes, and they're the perfect size. I kept them. I took my little soldering gun. You can use a drill or whatever, but you can see kind of the little push-up marks is where I just burnt through. Took my little soldering gun and poked all those holes in it. Okay, you can see that it sticks down about 3 inches below the bottom of this bucket. I've got all of these drain return holes. This cup right here is going to be filled with dirt, and this is where your plant will leach its moisture from this cup. So it will pull the moisture out of the bottom of that bucket through this cup to the root system, and then it should return to that base, to that bucket, via these holes. It should weep up through the soil and then back down, come through these holes. You can see that on the inside. You see there's my macaroni little container. It's flush with the bottom. I drilled the same size hole as I did in the lid. Same size, I think it was 1.25 inches, like I said. So that fits like that. And anyway, you get to come up here. So it fits like that. Okay, that pipe goes through there, through the lid. Snap the lid on, put your plant in there. Alright. Other thing, this bucket. Now you can see that bucket is partially full of water. I'll go ahead and empty it. There is, that hole is the one I was talking about drilling. That's the only hole you need to do in your exterior bucket. They say it's better to use a darker bucket, maybe a black bucket, or at least do like I did and spray paint it to where very minimum light can make it empty this bucket, because this is going to be the one containing the water, and you don't want to have to be dealing with a bunch of algae bloom and all that. So that bucket goes there. This blue bucket, it doesn't really matter if it's painted. Set it down like that. When you set it down like that, the cup is about 1/2 inch from the bottom of this bucket. Okay? I'll get the candle. Alright. So right now you can see that there is about 1/2 inch gap in between the bottom of my wicking, my macaroni dish there, my wicking basket, and then you can see all the water that will be in here. Okay, take that tube right there, which is cut on that 45 to allow it to be easily filled. It goes in there like that. Alright, then okay, do that one-handed. Then what you have is that you can snap your lid back together. Okay, got an empty bucket here. There's your fill tube where you can put your Miracle-Gro, water, whatever. It goes in the bottom of this first bucket, the bucket that I painted. And then it's supposed to leach up through the soil, through that little white cup. Like I said, I'm just going to use potting soil. I know it's important you want to compact the soil in that cup pretty good. In that white cup, you want to make sure it's packed pretty good where it will promote leaching the water upwards. And then you want to continue to pack the soil as you put it in that blue bucket. Just nothing special, just pour it in there. But you want to kind of compact it at least until you get to the upper portion of their bucket, and that will help aid in leaching moisture up towards the root system. So I've got 7 just like that. You can see the other thing that I did was I just took a piece of 1/2 inch PVC. I'm gonna put it over here just for giggles. Took a 1/2 inch piece of PVC and put some T's. The little caps I ended up drilling 3/16 holes in, just so that the pressure that comes in from the from my garden hose here doesn't just all go in these first 2-3 buckets, and then I don't have anything left on that line. Which, you know, by stepping it down like this, they all have an even supply of water. They all fill up at about the same time.